All right. So this is for anyone who's just listening, this is a new segment called "Songs Nick Should Not Try to Sing." But I'm gonna attempt it because I know Jack would probably want to hear it. So. No. There we go. Okay. When Jack hits record on the podcast and the boys start to ramble on, oh, I wanna be there on the Ramblecast. Oh, oh, oh.
I thought it was one of your best yet.
That was great. I thought it was awesome.
Well,
I'm playing the rest in my head right now because I won't attempt to sing it. That's
yeah. I mean, it's
No
actually those are actually fairly standard chords. It's just the way that Steve Perry just hits it to the max. You know.
He's only good for second though.
Yeah.
Poor Steve. Yeah. So tonight we're gonna try and keep this one tight, 30 to 40 minutes. Chris has an early wake up call tomorrow, and I'm dying.
Indeed.
I'm feeling terrible, Jackson Glaffelder. Terrible. In fact, my daughters, one of them goes, "Why are you sick?" And I went,
I don't know.
I've had four grandkids coming over with their nose running like a faucet, constantly cleaning up snot.
It's keeping you healthy though, Jack.
And
it's
coughing
keeping the immune system
coughing in my face. John says no one cares. I know they don't. They're coughing. I go, dude, can you? My grandson goes, "Wah-ha!" I go, dude.
Stop.
Not only did you cover my face, can you cover your mouth? Do the vampire that whatever you have to do nowadays. And he just looks at me. So why am I sick? I don't know. Matt K says we're all dying. No, this is my time to die. My time to die. You guys, I don't want because that's what's going to happen to me. I know it's going to happen. I'm going to die on a day where like 20 million people die, and the check-in line for the Golden Gates is going to be way backed up. The processing, I'm going to stand in a fucking line all day long.
You know what, Jack? You know who's going to be the first person in your line?
Who?
Harold Perrineau.
We'll have a lot to talk about. Oh, bullshit. He's not making it.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
You can rise up, and be like, oh, so now you've heard of me.
I mean, how do they process it? I mean, it's a lot of people up there, right? You don't want anyone sneaking in that shouldn't be there.
True.
Yeah. That's all I got about that.
So I went and did something. I'm not sure if I showed it to you guys on our last show or not, but
you talked about it.
I talked about it. Well, let me show it to you all real quick. I'm gonna jump in on my phone here and see if I can do a second screen.
Fuck you, Randy. Oh, there's no way he's in the gates of hell.
Yeah, he's definitely.
Hopefully, I don't pass out coughing. So, anyway, Dean Spanos. There's no way that fucker's going to heaven. Fucking sinner.
I think that about everybody.
Yeah.
It's just like I think I said that a few weeks back about George Carlin. It's one of the things I always remember about him is that he's like, what I hate about funerals. We know what I hate about funerals. He's like, there's always some asshole out there that goes, he's probably. Oh, I was thinking you were gonna build. Anyway, he's probably. He's looking down on us right now and smiling. And he's like, how the fuck do you know? Anyway, I thought you were going to talk about your computer, Chris, not
Yeah. No, I'm trying to figure out how to flip the camera around.
Oh, okay. You just look like a fly right now.
Yeah, right.
Oh, okay. John says, I think those were the gates Randy was talking about. Okay, if that's the case, Randy, I'm okay with it. But why am I going to hell?
Why am I sticking my tongue out? I'm not. That's weird. Oh, it's a cable.
Oh, but it picked up your tongue?
Yeah.
Let's hope it's his tongue.
That was awesome.
See, now it's appropriate. It's blurred.
I hope it doesn't pick up your penis.
That's awesome.
Well, I mean, you need a micro. What do you call it? Microscope for that.
I mean, it's very colorful. You know.
Yeah. So I'll give you a little.
So what is this? This is a computer?
Yeah, I built a computer.
Oh, you built a computer. That's
Yeah. So it's for gaming specifically.
You're gonna be like George Costanza's dad. You're gonna compete against Apple and Microsoft.
Yeah.
You don't remember that episode?
No, I
Serenity
don't.
now. Serenity now.
Anywho, let me
And unmute that. That sounds much better. Yeah. Okay. So here's a little walkthrough of what I built. So this is like a big, huge, computer case, if you will.
So it actually, I mean, it disappeared. But
Oops, sorry.
So a good half of it is just glass, so you can see it.
Yeah. So it's got
Oh, it's completely covered.
Yeah, I was
two
thinking
of
you
the-
only half of it built until you moved it there and I saw the glare. I was like, oh, it is.
Yeah, sorry. So two of the panels
Oh, now I see
are
it.
glass,
Mhm.
right? Inside, it's got
You got a little bit of echo there, Chris.
oh shit. Inside, it's got 3 fans in the front, which kind of suck air in to cool down the computer. RGB lights. The RAM sticks actually have RGB lights on them too, which I thought was kind of unnecessary, but also awesome. And that there is my CPU cooler that runs liquid through these tubes up to a radiator that ejects the hot air to the top.
Nice.
Yeah. And my video card.
So what are you playing on a PC these days?
Well, I'm playing, let's see. I can turn this shit off, right? Yeah. Go back to here. So I've been playing a little bit of Call of Duty. There's this game called Helldivers that's gotten it released earlier this month, and it's gotten like a ton of coverage and press from people who have been playing it. But it's Pong, playing Pong too.
Extra wide paddles.
And it's only available on PlayStation and PC. I don't have a PlayStation. I have an Xbox. But I've always wanted to kind of build a gaming rig just to do it, like a hobbyist type thing. So I did it, and I did it for, relatively short money, comparatively speaking to some of the computer builds that are out there. But it was just kind of a little hobby thing to build it, put it together.
So you
buy all
built
the
it from
parts.
scratch, but there's something on the internet that tells you what parts to buy.
Yeah, so I use a variety of sources. There's a great website called PCPartPicker.com where you can kind of like put things together and map it all out, and they can give you links to Amazon and all that type of stuff. But I have a bunch of employees and coworkers that kind of have been in the PC gaming for a while. So just got their advice and did a little bit of research and found what I wanted to do based upon how much money I did and didn't want to spend. And I bought the parts from various different locations, Amazon, Newegg, Micro Center, a bunch of places, and put it all together. I actually ran into an issue though with it late last week or going into the weekend where the motherboard that I purchased was shit the bed. It was just I just got a bad board.
Bad board.
So I had to disassemble the whole thing.
Was it used?
No, it wasn't used. It was just it wasn't
disassemble.
functioning the way it was. So I had to disassemble the computer and reassemble it again after I picked up a new motherboard. And at that point is where I bought the flashy RAM, which is kind of cool.
It is nice. How many hours of labor are we talking about here?
In total, or how much it should have taken, or how much did it take me?
How long did it take you?
In total, probably about 3.5 hours, 4 hours.
That's not bad at all.
No, it's not bad. I mean, it's not that complex. Once you kind of figure out what you're doing, it's like a lot of the time consuming stuff is the wire management and cable management, just to make sure that it's not shitty. And then on top of that, configuring software, drivers, installing Windows. That stuff takes the boring time where you're sitting there waiting for all that stuff to install. But if I didn't have to rebuild it again, it would have been much shorter. But it was fun. I enjoyed it.
It is cool. I mean, anytime I tend to find assembling things, except for furniture, to be fairly therapeutic.
Right.
I like it because I don't think I sent it to Jack because Jack doesn't give a shit about Legos. But that's what I did this weekend. I put together.
You send me jokes.
I send you jokes. I send Jack specific jokes that I know he will laugh at. Yeah. But I assembled the Lego NES system.
Yeah, I saw that. It looked awesome.
and then the Bowser as well. Because I originally had never thought about buying the NES until I saw the Bowser at Comic-Con, and I went, okay, I want to buy the NES now just so I can put the controller in Bowser's hand. That was it. That was the whole idea. And then I was like, okay, so I'm buying them both just to do that.
That's awesome.
And those are both actually very fun builds. The NES part, the actual, it's it's a great block, but it is neat how they made all the gears to put the game in there and make it the press it down and all that. But the TV set, with all the motion it does around, and then the Bowser is, I was shocked how many fucking pieces come in that thing. And then when you're done, you pick it up, it weighs a good 2 pounds. You're like,
yeah, because it's not hollow. He's solid.
It's solid. Yeah, it's
right.
solid, and like his arms and his head and his mouth, all that shit moves and articulates.
You know what's funny about the Nintendo, right? So you mentioned it. It has the mechanics where you can like put the game in and press it down. Did you know that you didn't need to push it down to play it?
You mean the original one?
Yeah.
But yeah.
In the cartridge?
Well, I mean, the pins. It slides directly into the pins. Yeah, but I guess I never tried it.
No, you don't need to. It was a completely like a cosmetic feature that you didn't actually need to push it down to play the game.
The man lying to us again.
Right? Also, fun tidbit, when you're playing Duck Hunt, if someone picks up the controller in the controller 2 port, you can control the fucking duck.
Really? I didn't know that either.
I learned that from Seth Rogen on
oh really?
like TikTok. Yeah, I was like, that's amazing.
I've known that for years.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like what's sad though about it is, especially with Duck Hunt, Hogan's Alley, and there's a couple other ones like Super Paintball or something.
Gunsmoke.
Yeah, like all the gun does not work on modern televisions. You actually have to have
a light emitting diode.
Yeah,
not light emitting diode. A cathode ray TV.
Yeah. So it's sad that it's like, oh, you have to actually find
so you need a Sony Trinitron, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Seriously. Yeah.
I used to make them. Randy said that I like to assemble IKEA stuff. No, I don't.
No.
And it's funny you say that because my wife ordered another sandbox for the kids. We don't have enough sand all over the place. And she goes, this one's bigger. And I go, they can sit in it. It turned out it wasn't. But I get the box, open up. I go, it's broken. She goes, what do you mean it's broken? I go, well, there's all these pieces in here. She goes, you have to put it together. I go, a plastic sandbox I have to put together? What the fuck is this? I had to put the top together, the bottom together. And the pieces are, it's plat. So you're trying to, I'm like, this is a bunch of crap.
That's
so
funny.
Yeah, I had to put, and it wasn't any bigger. So now we have 2 sandboxes where the sand's all over the place. And she goes, can you do something about that sand? I go, yep, I'll go get the leaf blower and blow the sand away. Anyway, but I do want to learn how to build a radio just in case I'm ever in a German prison camp.
Yeah.
Just putting that out there.
He made it look so easy, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh,
what are you referring to?
Just move it a little bit. It's the next to last episode of Masters of the Air.
Oh yeah. I gotta catch that. There's so many shows and documentaries that I've been like just saying add to queue. Just I know I want to watch it at some point, but the list is getting longer and longer. Like there's that documentary I completely forgot existed until it popped up on Netflix. So it's like homepage was the American Gladiators documentary.
That's excellent.
I thought you recommended that. Like
I did recommend it. I recommended it when I heard about it, but
I recommend it because I watched it,
but it hadn't come out yet.
It wasn't me. I know that.
I watched it and recommended it.
Oh, maybe I was not there, but like, but I remember hearing all about it, never seeing it.
It's pretty incredible. I really enjoyed it.
I'm gonna have to watch that.
I'm
on the last 3 or 4 episodes of Better Call Saul.
There you go.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say Kim just fucking flew the coop, or she's about to float the coop.
Well, she's reverting back to her.
That made me sad, dude. That made me sad. I actually felt for him.
That's how she was as a kid, right?
And then he woke up with a hooker and a flash forward.
Spoiler alert.
Now, I was fucking with you when you texted us about the certain character that dies, but I wasn't sure if Jack or Matt was confused when you wrote
I
holy
was
shit,
confused.
hashtag, the name. And I was like,
What the
I
fuck's he talking?
knew immediately what Chris was talking about.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I just drew a blank and I go, I'm not gonna say who what I said, but I
if
go,
if
the
there's
hell's
any
he talking about?
character, if there's any character in Better Call Saul / Breaking Bad I ever felt sorry for, it's that character. Because
Oh my God. Yeah. Like he's actually like he's like the closest thing to a good person
in the
on
entire
that
Yeah,
show.
He was kind of a dick.
He's a
sometimes.
dick, but he's doing what's best for the firm.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I can't fault him for that.
Nope.
Because he was on why am I forgetting what Saul's real name is?
Jimmy.
Yeah, he's on Jimmy's side, when Jimmy's young. He's always, tried to counter him against his brother. And then, when Jimmy starts becoming Saul, you better believe he's trying to rein him back in. But he's just trying to do what's best for Jimmy and the firm the whole time.
And then you find out in a later seasons, the big reveal that his marriage is in shambles, and he's sleeping in the guest house or whatever. So you're like, he's going through all this bullshit.
It's a nice house.
Yeah, whatever. But he's going through all this bullshit with the firm and with Chuck, in the whole thing, and with Jimmy, and
but it was Kim that wanted to do it.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know, and that's I think it's kind of what we were talking about a few weeks ago. That's what's interesting about the dynamic of those two characters. Is that Jimmy is mostly bad, but wants to be good, but can't. Whereas in Kim is good, but because of her upbringing, she still wants that little part of her to be dirty. And all she needs is that little push over the edge from Jimmy to really make it happen. And she can be even worse than Jimmy. You're like, holy shit.
She's cutthroat.
John the Retired Guy asked me if I watched Poor Things yet. I have not watched it. It's on my list, but it's sad that you thought it was the stupidest movie ever because she won an Oscar for it.
She won her second Oscar because, she's a Padres fan. So
a Padres?
Padres. She's a Padres fan.
Oh, Padres. Okay.
Her husband's from San Diego.
I heard Padres. I'm like, Star Wars? Like, what?
I've forgotten about pod racing.
Yeah.
Pod racing, yes.
Speaking of pod racing, sorry, tangents galore. The kid who played Anakin.
Which one?
Yeah.
Young Anakin.
Luke? I mean, not Luke.
the kid with the bull haircut.
Jake Lloyd.
That's the one. I had heard he had kind of gone off the deep end and went through a crazy depression.
Crazy.
But I actually read recently that he's actually kind of gotten his shit together and he's in a much better place, which is
I think that's
good to hear.
It's kind of like
was it what happened? It was just the backlash from
bad parents, backlash, just a lot of stuff, just too fast, too soon.
He's one of the most hated characters in movie history.
And the thing is, he didn't. He did the role.
I thought he did a pretty good job.
Like I said, I've never understood the hate for episode 1. I get it if you hate Jar Jar Binks, totally. It's the worst part of the film. But if you watch it just as a plot, as a story, it's pretty solid. Like if you just take Jar Jar out of it and just it's actually like episode 2 by far is the worst of the prequels. But.
Yeah, it's a shame that people turn on a kid like that. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I know. I don't exactly. I've always agreed with most people when because there's always people that bash online and people are like, oh, you just hate the. I was like, no. I was like, it's like even with the sequels, which I hate all 3 of those films. Like, I don't ever hate the actor. The actor's just doing their job. It's the way that they're written. It's the the lines that they have to deliver that are sometimes just
how they're told to.
Yeah, they're just doing. They're just
doing
their job.
There's only so many actors that have control over their careers. You're like a De Niro. You're not going to tell him what to do. But in the beginning, he had to be told. So anyway, I've not seen Poor Things. The only movie I ever.
I just now realized that Chris is actually Chris. Yeah, he's not.
No, I'm not.
No.
It's throwing me off because I don't have the halo.
These are the StreamYard backgrounds.
Okay.
Cindy and I started a Ted Lasso rewatch.
Really?
Okay.
You didn't want to go with MASH?
I watch MASH on my own. She doesn't like MASH. But yeah, it's funny. You sit there and go, man, Nate was him become such a dick.
He's a dick,
When Ted did so much for him and Roy Kent did so much for him.
there's definitely flaws. I mean, I love Ted Lasso. I think it's a great 3-season show. But yeah, like there's definitely flaws. Nate's one of them, and the character development of that character. I loved him in season 1, and then just for him to go full evil, it didn't make sense. And then the redemption of him. The third season, I felt was just not. It wasn't hashed out as much as it should have been. But I still like it a lot.
What I like about it, I think I said this. We probably talked about it first time around. Is Ted's such a positive person, but he's flawed. He's got his own issues.
Does,
so, but it's not one of those guys. Back in if this was shown in the 70s, Ted would just be perfect.
Yeah, he would.
He'd just be.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah, there'd be no. I have panic attacks. I have this. I have that.
Well, that's kind of what I've liked about modern storytelling is that people are not perfect. No one is perfect. And actually, I think that's where a lot of going back to Star Wars, and a lot of some of the, especially the Marvel type films, maybe not the Marvel, but a lot of those superhero films is, I like the gray areas. I like that Iron Man, for example, is not a perfect character. He is extremely flawed. And that's because that's what makes us human and that's what makes us us.
He's going to win an Oscar someday, though.
I like there's actors, and then there's actors who don't break character until the DVD commentary, and Robert Downey Jr. is that guy.
I thought he won the. I didn't watch Jackson. I didn't watch the Oscars.
I haven't watched him in years.
Yeah. But he won.
Yeah.
And then people kept pointing back to his drug days. I go,
yeah.
I go, why do we have to bring that up? Even Jimmy Kimmel said something on the show about it. I'm like,
he did. Yeah.
I go, come on, guys. And I mean,
he must have approached him ahead of time because I know that Robert Downey Jr. does not like talking about that.
He doesn't want to talk about it. And he had a rough stretch there for a while.
Yeah.
He's act up, and now he's one of the better actors we have working today. And I don't see why we had to. I mean, people were going, congratulations, Robert Downey Jr. You should. They would show him in the orange suit and winning the Oscar.
Yeah, it's funny because I forgot that he kind of
20 years. Wow.
I forgot that he kind of disappeared, for a while because it's kind of like how I didn't watch West Wing those my college years when that show was out and I was doing other shit. But when I got out of college is when he made Kiss Kiss Bang Bang in 2005, and I love that movie. It's Val Kilmer's last really good film. And it bombed. It didn't, it got good reviews, but no one watched it. And I've always loved that film. It's just so different.
Best movie ever made was one with Rodney Dangerfield.
Which one's that?
What's it called? Matt Treese is here. He'll get it real quick. Matt Treese is a famous diver. What's his name? Karate Kid.
Ralph Macchio?
No. The other Johnny is in the movie.
Oh, Johnny.
And plays a dick. Plays an asshole.
Oh, he's typecast,
But yeah, Back to School.
Nice.
Thank you, John, the retired guy. I don't know why I couldn't remember that.
I haven't seen that movie in forever.
Oh, Back to School. Oh, that's right. That's with Dangerfield. Yes. Great movie.
Great movie.
When he does the triple Lindy, as you say.
This is probably the first year I can remember where I'd only seen, I think, 3 of the Oscar.
I saw one.
The films that were nominated for the
Oppenheimer.
I saw Oppenheimer, and I don't know. I remember what they all were, but I knew everyone knew Oppenheimer was going to win, so it was like, yeah.
Right.
I mean, I did the whole who's your picks, and I think I got 90%. It was a safe year.
Well, I know Bill Murray he was on Saturday Night Live. He did this critics thing, and he goes, the Oscars are coming up, blah 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 blah, and he named the 5 movies because back then it was only 5. He goes, didn't see it, saw it, judging by what I saw. This one, he goes, best supporting actors and actresses, nobody cares.
No one cares. Right. Yeah.
That's funny.
Matt Treese saw 9 of the 10, or he saw 10 and can recommend 9 of the 10.
Which one?
I'm sure they're good.
Can you not recommend, Matt? I think that's you buried the lead there. Which of the 10 would you not recommend?
Maestro.
Maestro. Okay, that's the one with
Okay.
the guy
What's
from
Yeah, Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper. Yeah,
I got it before anyone posted it. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it was a weird year, you know.
Well, coming off COVID and writer's strike and everything else, it's just like,
I mean, a lot of times, I even said that if you can go back and check the tapes when I first saw the Holdovers, and I recommended it to you guys, like, hey, I just saw the Holdovers this weekend. I was like,
Yep.
the black lady. I'm sorry, I don't know her name. I was like, she's gonna win. I was like, because even though you have 3 outstanding performances in that movie, she completely steals that film.
what film is that?
The Holdovers with
Oh, The
Paul
Holdovers.
Giamatti. And
I've not seen that yet.
She won the Golden Globe and she won the Oscar for
That's
Best
good.
Supporting Actress. I mean, it's okay. It's a movie.
Divine Joy Randolph.
Thank you, Matt. Matt, Divine Joy. Yeah, because it's a movie that you'll watch it once, maybe twice, because it is a good film, but it's a bit sad.
Yeah.
Not it just because it's 3 characters that are fault. That's just really what it is. You know, it's like, and what they're going through.
It's like 2 of the 3 on this podcast.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's it's set in 1970. All 3 of them are dealing with their own issues, and it's just a good film. But it's one of those things you're never going to be like, I want to watch the Holdover.
Do I want to be a hippie? Do I not want to be a hippie?
Yeah, it is fantastic, Matt. It is.
I liked Oppenheimer. I didn't think it was.
Well,
but I can get why people didn't like it.
I mean, I liked Oppenheimer. I felt it was just a tad long, and there's some things that could have been edited out.
Yeah.
But it's a good film.
Yeah.
I do think it's wildly overrated. I don't think I don't think it's a best picture.
Well, probably
quality,
because not a lot of them.
There's a bunch of big pictures though.
There was
Yeah.
probably not a lot to compete with, right?
No, there wasn't. There wasn't many. Like I've said that before in different years, where I think it should.
That's
go back,
where I've seen her before.
It should go. Yeah, Oh wait, I'm reading the wrong one. Yeah, I mean, I think it should go back to 5 films. But they went to 10 because they want to get people to watch.
Oh yeah, I just saw that comment.
Some film, that made a lot of money but really wasn't groundbreaking cinema. They want to nominate so people will watch, but it's something special.
John, the retired guy, says I didn't like Oppenheimer, but I did. Nobody cares, John.
Nobody cares, John. Yeah.
Hey, I'm friends with John on Instagram, I think now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
It's
good. It's good to see a crossover of people from the Facebook days to Instagram.
That's pretty much all I'm on these days is Instagram. Even though I don't post that much anymore.
Yeah.
But I don't.
Still on TikTok, but I don't know for how long.
Yeah, it's not going to go anywhere.
Facebook's 20 years old now. I mean, how many? That's crazy when you think about
Yeah,
technology.
I'm pretty much. I go on TikTok just like once a day. I haven't been doing happy birthdays. I apologize. I fell behind and just said, you know what?
You're doing better than Chris, who never does birthdays.
Yeah. Fuck you.
I'm breaking the chain. Yes, John. He started Instagram, and I'm also on. What's that other thing?
Threads.
Threads. Yeah, I'm on Threads.
Yeah,
too.
it's a failed adventure.
Yeah. I posted one thing on there and just I don't know.
Yeah, Facebook's got to do something because
it needs a facelift.
I mean, because if you think about it, like the vast majority of the users of Facebook are going to be dying soon. Like the new generation of no, I'm not you, Jack, but I'm talking like a vast population of people who use Facebook are over the age of 70 right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a huge population, and like quote unquote, I'm gonna use it my air quotes, ding ding. Kids these days don't give a fuck about Facebook.
Oh no. Well, I mean,
so like it's a dying app.
You know why? Because the parents got on there.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's not cool.
I remember that when I think my mom or my dad got on it for a little while, and they're not on anymore. But I remember them like sending me a friend request. I'm like, just so you know, I'm never going to approve this. And they're like, why? I was like, because I don't want you stalking my profile.
Yeah. John, the retired guy, says you don't look as ghostly on Instagram. No, I don't.
Which is better, right?
Yeah. I
And
guess.
at this time, we're going to take a commercial break.
Well, shit, that came out of nowhere.
Trying to keep
Okay.
this tight.
She said. So I'll start another topic then. This is something Jack will probably like, and Chris too. It came out of nowhere. My sister texted me last night, and she never talks sports or thinks sports or anything. And she started off with, I can pretty much say who's the greatest basketball player of all time. You can probably debate between two people for the best golf player of all time, but who would you say is the best football player of all time? And I went, that's a whole can of worms.
Wow.
Because I was like, it's a different sport. It's a team sport. You could have a greatest player, but if their team sucks, then they're never going to be remembered for that.
I mean, I don't know, dude.
I'm saying it's highly debatable. That's what I'm saying. It's a debatable topic.
You look at how many people have played sports and never won an NBA championship.
Right.
You look at like a Karl Malone and John Stockton.
Yeah.
Never won a championship.
No, they did.
Yeah. No.
Didn't they win the 95?
No.
They won the Olympics.
That's true.
They won the Olympics, but they never won an NBA championship. Utah's never won an NBA championship. And I could put to the Chargers. Chargers have a long list of great players. Never even been to a Super Bowl.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
And it just, so it's tough. You have to have, it has to start at the top. You have to have an owner that wants to win.
Right.
And then you have to hire the right people. You have to have the right GM, the right coach. And then you got to get lucky. Like New England got lucky and drafted Tom Brady with the 6th pick. And
right.
6th round pick. But I also said with Tom Brady, he's lucky he didn't go to somewhere like Cleveland.
Right. And that's what I'm saying.
Super. It's all fate.
Yeah, because he goes to, because New England was going to the Super Bowl that year anyway.
Yeah.
That he came and played. If he goes to Cleveland, bad organization.
That's just where players
bad
go
franchise. Yeah, I mean, how many quarterbacks that they had and drafted and never made it?
So my answer to my sister, and I'll tell you what, because I talked to my dad about this as well today, because I thought it was such a random question.
Hold on a second. I said, yeah, some of their players have never been to a Super Bowl. Yes, the Chargers did go to the Super Bowl, and they lost. Like Junior Seau, never won a Super Bowl. Even went to New England. They were undefeated during the regular season, and they lost because David Tyree is holding a ball on top of his helmet. I mean, that's a guy that deserved to win a Super Bowl, but he never won. But he's one of the greatest defensive players of all time. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, so I told her, it's a debate because it depends on what do you want to talk about. I was like, if I just said who's the best athlete, just it's kind of like you could say Mike Tyson was a great boxer, but he had his element and then he was done. Or would you say Muhammad Ali, who was more skill than actual true like punch power?
It's funny because I actually saw a clip of I don't know, maybe it was Letterman or something. I forgot what the fuck it was.
It was Letterman.
Yeah,
I'm thinking someone else. No, go ahead.
They had Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson were on together, and they're like, so who would win? And Muhammad Ali's like, I can't hit that hard. He goes, I could move, but I couldn't hit that hard.
Right, he never could. Yeah, he was really a middleweight, even though he was a heavyweight, and that's why he was just fast, and he had such great reflexes. I mean, that's really what boxing is. So you could say that Ali was better as a true boxer, but yeah, you get Tyson gets to you in the first 3 rounds, you're fucked.
It's when he lost focus, and he lost to Buster Douglas. It just kind of spiraled his group. But there was a time people didn't want to fight him. I mean, they didn't want to get in the ring with him. I can still remember when he fought. Was it Michael Spinks or the other, his brother? Forget who it was. Leon. I ran down. We were in an apartment. Ran down to the vending machine to get a couple Cokes. Came back up, and I go, it's over. I go, it's over. It just started. They go, yeah, he knocked him out. So Michael Spinks. No, Leon. Leon was it was Michael Spinks because Leon Spinks was his brother. So Michael Spinks, knocked out.
So Logan Paul and Mike Tyson have signed a contract to have like a exhibition boxing match.
I think Tyson will kill him. Even at his age, I think he'll still.
He's training. Have you seen him training?
Apparently, the rules are wild, and I heard this. I don't know. I didn't.
You can't
verify
hit me here.
No, I didn't verify this, right? And then I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I guess Logan Paul can wear a helmet.
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul? Oh yeah. Jake Paul is allowed to wear a helmet, like a sparring helmet.
Okay.
And I also I heard, and I don't know if this is a joke, but I heard that he can tag in somebody else to fight
Oh,
too.
bullshit.
Like a tag team thing.
You know what I do right away? Tag.
But like the rumors are spilling around that Logan Paul, his brother, who's in the WWE, might jump into the ring too with him. I don't know if that's true. Like that was one like TikTok that I watched and they were talking about it, and I was like, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
this is
it's
just
for
an
money.
absolute joke.
It's for pure money, so it's
Going to your, I would pick Muhammad Ali as the best fighter of all time.
okay.
I mean, from fighters that I saw, I mean, I can't go back in the 50s and
I mean, I've always preferred Joe Frazier over Ali.
Smoking Joe Frazier.
I mean, because it's things that you don't know. Like Frazier boxed his entire career with one eye. You're like, holy shit, he was still that good.
Yeah.
And I fully believe
Rocky almost had to retire.
I fully believe that Joe Frazier won the third bout. Even though they gave it to Ali in decision, I think that he won the first one, and I think he won the third one.
I would kick his ass.
Anyway, so back to football. So what I told her was, it'll change day to day who I would pick. I was like, but I think just as a pure athlete, I would go with Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson.
Even though he didn't last long, but he's playing for the Royals. He was playing baseball and football at the same fucking time.
I did a video a while back about who the greatest athlete of all time was, and I said Bo Jackson.
Yeah, it is
because he excelled. He was a Hall of Famer. Unfortunately, got hurt. He was a Hall of Famer at both sports.
Both sports. Yeah.
I mean, if he doesn't get hurt,
he should have quit. If he stays healthy.
If he quits football and said, "Okay, this is stupid to be playing both sports." I mean, he doesn't even get a break. He just goes from football to baseball, and like I said, that freak tackle that ruined his, tore up his hip, and he still came back and hit 25, 26 homers.
Yeah, it's just a pure specimen of a man. I mean, that's just how it seemed. But then I was like, but then again, I'm also very partial to Walter Payton. I was like, I love him. I thought he was great. If he could have stayed healthy as well. And then, my dad chimed in. He's like, what about Joe Montana and Tom Brady? I was like, well, that's a different thing. I was like, I'm just talking about pure athlete, and then you talk about someone like Peyton Manning, who's not that great of an athlete, but he was just so smart with the game. That's what made him a good quarterback. When you get a noggin that big, of course you're going to be smart.
Yeah, he's got that forehead.
Yeah.
Advertise on it. It's tough because, again, it's a team game. I mean, obviously you could go with like Montana and Brady, but you got to start talking about Mahomes.
Yeah.
What's he's done? I mean, if they win the Super Bowl 3 straight years, which has never happened.
Right. 3-peat. Wow.
Anyway, I don't know. It's one of those things that it's great. It's a great thing because you can go in a bar and you can argue while you're drinking the whole time, right? Because everyone's going to have a different opinion.
And then going back to like athletes who never made it, but that are unbelievable. The cords keep jerking on the computer around. Barry Sanders is.
Oh my God, yeah.
He's. My dad was like, "Oh, Emmitt Smith or Barry Sanders." Like, no, I was like, Barry Sanders is way better than Emmitt Smith. I mean, Emmitt Smith was a great running back. I was like, but he had one hell of a team.
He had a wall blocking for him. Not that he didn't earn the yards,
right?
But
it's like, and he played a lot more years. I was like,
he had a Hall of Fame coach, Hall of Fame quarterback, Hall of Fame offensive lineman.
Yeah.
And what did Barry Sanders have? Barry Sanders.
He had Barry Sanders. That's all he had. Yeah.
There was no one more fun to watch than Barry Sanders.
I mean, the fridge.
Yeah. Okay. Short yardage.
In the end, nobody cared. All right, John. Fuck you.
I saw Barry Sanders at the Holiday Bowl. He was just amazing. And he retired. At least he retired with his health.
Yeah.
He quit early. He's just like going, "This is bullshit. My team sucks. Yeah. Why are we trying?" So you got to respect someone that does that.
And it's funny to me, like I know we've mentioned this years ago, and this is probably more of a Matt conversation, but I always thought, what a waste was, you had Peyton Manning and Marshall Faulk on the Colts. And it's like, one hell of a duo there.
Well, they traded Marshall Faulk.
They did. As I was like, who does that? It's like.
There was some guy on Twitter, some magazine put the 10 most 10 guys that should have won the Heisman and never did. And he had
The
them ranked 1,
Heisman?
2, 3. The Heisman Trophy. They were the best players and never won. I go,
Peyton Manning.
and he didn't have Marshall Faulk on this list. I go,
Oh, he didn't.
not only do you not have Marshall Faulk number 1, you don't even have him on your list. How is this possible?
Hmm.
I mean, he was, obviously I'm biased, but he was a great running back and great player. But what are you going to do? But basketball player, I mean, who would you go as best basketball player?
Jordan.
Jordan, yeah. Bird
Although
doesn't
there is an argument. There is an argument for Larry Bird.
he made the team. He made his players better around him.
He did. I mean, I the way I look at it is, you have Chamberlain and Dr. J. Then you have I'm not talking about order. I'm just talking about like the people who.
Well, you got to put Bill Russell in there.
You got to be able to, yeah. But then like, I think Magic Johnson and Larry Bird took the NBA to a whole new level.
Oh yeah.
As in like getting really people to watch, getting the competition, the people to really love
the
game.
league was dying.
It was dying. Yeah, exactly.
It was
And then-
dying.
And then when Jordan came along, instead of having like the competitions, you just had like this one guy that's like, I'm gonna kick your ass. Like I'm gonna kick all of your asses. And if you don't acknowledge that I'm gonna kick your ass, then I'm just gonna jam it down your throat. And it's just and you don't see that anymore. Because I mean, you can still, people will still argue Shaq or Kobe or even LeBron, but it's like Kobe to me is an extremely talented player. But he kind of was just emulating Jordan. And then LeBron to me is not that good. I think he's not. I don't even think he's in the top 5 Lakers of all time.
Whoa. Okay.
Wow. You got Jerry West, you got Magic Johnson, you got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, James Worthy. Chamberlain.
Chamberlain. Yeah.
I don't know if I put James Worthy ahead of.
You got Kobe. You got
Kobe. Yeah, there's your 5.
Listen, I mean, you've got so many just unbelievable. I think I forget who said it. It could have been Barkley. It could have been someone talking about LeBron. LeBron is probably the most naturally gifted player to ever play the NBA. As in, like, he just could do it naturally. But as in an actual team player, an actual someone who wants to push himself. He's not that guy. He's not Jordan. He's not the guy that's like, you might be a little bit better than me, but I'm going to prove that I'm better than you. Like he doesn't have that drive that Jordan had. And I think that's why people tend to gravitate toward Jordan, because that's what a true athlete is that even though I might not be better than you right now, I'm going to be,
Yeah, he, John the Retired Guys, I think he's talking about Jordan, the Dave Stewart of basketball. Yeah, Dave Stewart, that's who got me kicked off Twitter. I mean, he didn't do it, but me saying, because when Dave Stewart was a pitching coach for the Padres, like we used to always joke, throw strikes or I'll kill you. Because he just had that stare. When the pitchers were walking, guys, he'd just go. But he had that squeaky Jimmy Page voice. So he didn't have to say anything because he was intimidating. And Chris, last week, I think it was last week or the week before, I said that Larry Bird, the Clippers traded the number 1 pick. For Larry Bird. What happened was, I looked it up. I was wrong. The owner, when he left Boston to bring the team to San Diego, he could have taken Larry Bird with him. He said he wouldn't do that.
Oh,
because Larry Bird was drafted a year early, and so they held his rights. So technically, it's the Boston Celtics moved to San Diego, and the Buffalo Braves moved to the Celtics. So technically, San Diego has like 9 banners and stuff like that. So, because if you Google technically this. Did the Celtics play in San Diego? It all shows up. So, so don't say we don't have any rings in San Diego.
Larry Bird was a fucking mean
that was the era,
man.
I love watching those 70s, 80s games where it's just like, you pushed me the wrong way, I'm going to beat your fucking ass.
Yep.
But how many years did we lose from Larry Bird because he took such a beating from the Pistons?
He did. Oh my God. Yeah.
I mean, it was just like, team, though. Of course, you had Kevin McHale who clotheslined people.
Right. I yearn for those days.
Dude, I love McHale. McHale, the Chief, dude. Oh my God.
Robert Parrish.
Yeah, Robert Parrish, the Chief.
Dennis Johnson.
Oh, Danny Ainge. Ainge was he was a. I don't want to use those words on podcasts.
He was a BYU boy.
Yeah.
Well, he played for the Blue Jays and
There's a funny story I was listening to on the it was a Grateful Dead story. So Bill Walton, huge Deadhead, like huge Deadhead, and he would completely, and he would tour. He has toured. I think he's seen the Dead like probably 1,000 shows or something like that. But when he played for Boston, and it was like Larry Bird, McHale, Parrish, what's his name? Oh my God, he was the announcer for forever. I'll think of his name.
Right.
Cedric Maxwell. Cedric Maxwell, all those guys.
Cornbread, right?
Yeah. So the Grateful Dead came to town, and they're all like, "Hey, can you take us to the Grateful Dead show? Let's go to the Grateful Dead show." So because Bill Walton had like a connection with Jerry and all those guys. So they actually, what's that?
He brought them their pot.
Yeah, right. So they actually like the Grateful Dead created like a walled off section to like stage left and right in front of the stage specifically for the Celtics players.
Nice.
So they all went to the show. I think it was actually at the Boston what do you call it? The Garden, which is no longer the Garden. No longer the Garden anymore. And they all fucking like went crazy and became huge fans of the Dead ever since. But the story goes that the whole pregame started at Larry Bird's house, and they all got shit faced, and apparently Danny Ainge's wife wouldn't let him go.
Oh.
So he was the only one that didn't join them into like their special VIP Celtics corner of the Grateful Dead stage.
Everyone's bringing their dick. Can I bring mine? Nope. This is Sam Kennison. Yeah, she says no fucking way.
She said no. Fucking Sam Kennison.
I still like Kevin McHale on Cheers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was another show that I'm considering going and doing a rewatch of. Cheers.
It's hard, like because on Hulu, they only have the Diane seasons on Hulu.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's not every episode either. Like there's like 2 or 3 missing from each season.
I like the Rebecca episodes better.
I like the Rebecca. I think it's a different show. It's a more comedy.
Let's see what's
different. Yeah.
If they're on Apple TV.
Or that one where they're on the parquet floor of the garden. And they say, how many bolts you think are in here? And they keep trying to count it, and then Kevin McHale's playing, and he's like, what's he doing out there? He's counting the bolts.
Yeah.
And then they forgot to put one of them back, and the thing slipped, and
I
got hurt.
I always think of Celtic Pride. It's like a guilty pleasure.
Oh my God! Great movie.
Yeah. Who's in that? I saw that.
Dan Aykroyd. And the guy from Home Alone and City Slickers.
Okay.
I forget what his name is, but
the guy that's in For All Mankind season 4.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the guy who's runs NASA. Yeah, him. And then of course Damon Wayans is like the Jordan character, but they play for the Jazz instead. But
so you can buy the entire Cheers set for $40.
Oh wow!
For all 11 seasons, but it does appear to be streamable on Paramount Plus if you've got that.
I do have Paramount Plus.
Yeah, so it looks like it's all available on Paramount Plus or $39.99 if you want to buy it to own it.
I forgot to answer. I'm only slightly disgruntled. And then, of course, John, the retired guy. Yeah, I was happy with that trade, Chris. It turned out better than I thought it was. At first, I was like, the names they were talking about. No. I hate trading young players.
Oh, yeah. Cease?
Cease. I go, okay, what did we have to give up? I said, oh, my God. No, what? Anyway. We were talking about the greatest baseball players. The argument I like today is people say Shohei Ohtani is so much better than Babe Ruth.
Did we say
what?
We don't think we've discussed Grace.
No, I'm not. People. We have
fucking Ted Williams.
People will discuss that all the time. And if you look at, because they say he's a two-way player, and I'm like going, yeah, but you look at Babe Ruth, his pitching numbers are amazing.
Yeah.
And then he just stopped pitching because, well,
he's too fat.
Home runs, and he didn't get fat till the end. But you look at his numbers by far. people go, "Oh, Shohei Ohtani did this and that and this and that." I go, "Yeah, okay, but
It's funny. Like I heard that before from John Goodman.
Wade Boggs.
Yeah, Wade
Nice,
Boggs,
dude. Oh, fucking love Wade Boggs.
I only like him for the chicken."
I'd heard that from John Goodman. Whenever they ask me, like, is there a role that you'd like to revisit or redo, and he always says it's the Babe. He said I didn't have enough time to prep for that role. He goes, there's so many things I would have loved.
It was too clownish.
Yeah, it was too clownish. Yeah, but he said even though he only pitched a few times in the movie, he goes, the way I pitch is not the way the Babe pitched. He goes, I just kind of. He goes, everything about it is wrong. What I'm doing. And he goes, and so he goes, I just don't like that movie. It's just interesting to hear an actor talk about that, 30 years later.
Right.
Yeah, but anyway, I just say, not Shohei Ohtani is not a great player, but he hasn't done what Babe Ruth did.
Nope.
There's baseball in New York because of Babe Ruth.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because to me, I think it's one of those things where it's an argument of eras. It's a different era. Baseball is completely different. They played less games. They played day games. There's so many things that have changed since then. It's hard to put. To me, it's almost
African Americans weren't allowed to play baseball back then.
Yeah, there's so many things that are just different. Because even Ty Cobb, there's so many guys. It's like they're great for their day.
But there's some players that would be good no matter what the era. I mean, Babe Ruth was a man. He was huge, and there's
Ted Williams, greatest baseball player.
Yeah, of course, because you know why? Why is the greatest baseball player of all time?
He's frozen.
No, why is the greatest baseball player of all time? He was born in San Diego.
Oh, Jesus
I knew it was coming. I just didn't want to say it.
Ted Williams, Teddy Baseball.
Teddy Ball Game.
He's the one that told Tony Gwynn, he goes, you need to start pulling the ball more. You should be hitting home runs.
Oh, man, it's true. We did last 51 minutes so far.
Anyway, we got talking about sports, and that's what threw me off. I did want to say one thing. Michael Jack Smith, good player, Michael Jack Smith. Cindy and I are going on a walk. We're walking, and all of a sudden she goes, "Is that lady walking a pig?"
What the fuck?
And the lady, it was a pig. The lady was walking a pig. So I had to say that. I mean, it's just like, and when it pooped, she picked up the poop. Unlike most of the people that don't pick up the dog poop, they just let their dogs poop everywhere.
I remember like 20 years ago when it became trendy to move to Nashville, and I remember someone saying that to me, going like, I saw some fucker walking a pig in the middle of Nashville, and they had a little fucking bandana around the pig's neck. It's like, is this what we're becoming? Just people think I'm going to move to Nashville and just be a stereotype?
I think so. I think, that was when I first moved to Raleigh. I thought I had to get a pig. But,
Well, I figured you dressed up your Sunday best and go to Raleigh like that.
Exactly, because that's what Andy and that's what they all did. Going to Raleigh, you got to get all Sunday, and I just don't get it. But anyway, I think at this point we're going to wrap it up because the people in the chat, well, John,
we do have 3 emails.
We do have 3 emails. Well, then let's do the emails first.
All right. So the first one is from Maggie.
Hey,
Maggie.
Hey, Jack, Nick, Matt, and Chris. Last week, Nick talked about selling the Lego Death Star. It was not a Lego Death Star. It was a Hasbro Death Star. And Chris mentioned he needs to sell his Mac.
Yeah.
I was asked to help an elderly friend selling their iPad that they aren't using anymore. What is the best way to do that? I've used Facebook Marketplace to sell a microwave, but that wasn't as expensive as an iPad. I haven't. Okay, go ahead, Chris. You had an answer to that.
There's plenty of places you can go, depending on how old the iPad or the devices are. I would check the retailer in which you're buying the new device from and see if they do a trade-in at that place. There's also a great online resource that I've used before, and I highly recommend. It's essentially like eBay specifically for devices. It's called Swappa, SWAPPA. It's a great service to use and trust that you're not getting scammed. John, what an asshole.
So for everyone out there, he says, "This will beat up your elderly friend."
And for me, with the Mac, I'm actually going through. I forgot it's. Actually, hang on, I'll tell you right now. I found it through just doing some searching, and it's an affiliate of a website that I actually really like called from OWC or other World Computing, MacSales.com. Really great company, reliable company. They actually have an offshoot called SellYourMac.com that I'm selling my iMac to, and it's very trusted, highly rated on Trustpilot, if you will. So yeah, plenty of places to go. You're always gonna get the most money if you do like a private sale on your own, but that's a pain in the ass.
It is. And then depending on who it is, it's like I said, like I sold that Death Star for $22.50. eBay took 300 and something from it, and then to ship it to Brooklyn cost me $230.
That's wild.
So it's it's expensive. Of course, that was a big ass toy though. All right, the last bit. I haven't watched Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul, but I've been thinking about it since you've been talking about it both so much. Thanks for the laughs, Maggie the Magnificent.
Nice, yeah, definitely.
I would take Nick. I hate to admit Nick was right, but I'd watch Better Call Saul first.
Yeah,
because of the suspense of who, you don't know. There's so many people who could die, and then of course they don't because they're in Breaking Bad. So anyway, that's I hate to say. Nick
I would.
right.
I would agree 100%. So far from what I've watched, I would 100% watch Better Call Saul first.
And all three of you thought I was nuts for the longest time.
No, I didn't say that. I hadn't seen it.
I thought you were nuts because you hadn't watched Breaking Bad when it was out.
That's nuts.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that but you are right about the order. And I'm not going to say it again, so move on.
All right, we have two more, both from Randy.
Randy.
And who's also in chat. The first one is titled Switzerland. In honor of Jack's roots, a question. What's the best thing about Switzerland?
The women. Beautiful women. Beautiful scenery.
I don't know, but the flag has a big plus.
Oh my gosh.
All right. And this is more of a traditional email.
They're very nice in Switzerland. I'll say that.
They are. And it's kind of like...
you can probably see it from me.
Yeah. And you only have to have a few beers to get hammered because it's so high up.
True.
All right. The next one is a proper email, and it's titled San Antone.
San Antone.
Hi, gents and Chris.
They did not say that. Shit.
Just thought you might like to know that there is a 1953 Western film called San Antone. The plot revolves around a Confederate Army officer at the time of the Civil War. Has Jack seen San Antone?
I don't think so. I'm the age. I don't remember a lot of things, but I don't think I've seen it.
I don't know any of these actors, like Rod Cameron, Arlene, Whelan, Forrest Tucker.
Oh, Forrest Tucker was in...
Forrest Tucker. Yeah. And that was that name. As I was reading it, I was like, that sounds familiar. But yeah, you definitely could tell the poster is an old 50s poster,
Yeah. San Antone.
San Antone.
See, I told you they say San Antone.
Just a stereotype. Anyway, yeah, that's our 3 emails. Thanks for writing in, everybody. Keep them coming.
Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Thanks for everyone who joined us in the chat. We had a great time tonight, except for John. We just don't care. We might start muting John, right? Because we just don't care.
I don't care.
Nah.
Especially about John.
Yeah.
John's always been nice to me.
Kiss ass.
But I still don't care.
He's nice to you?
Yeah,
Careful.
he's always been nice to me.
Chris might beat up your air.
Oh, yeah. Fuck you, John.
Did you forget already?
I forgot about that.
No, it's okay. We liked a little give and take. And Matt should be back next week. Second fan favorite. And we'll discuss who won the final versus.
He doesn't care either.
Yeah.
I had a question. So, like, what do you guys want to do? Like, after we announce who won the last of the 4, do you just want to combine the points? Sort of like, if you get first, you get 4 points. If you get second, you get... Or do you want to allow the whole band together and let the audience vote again?
Yeah, put the band together. It's like,
who's got the best band? Yeah. Okay.
Well, no, I think it should be who we all picked.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, just say like, all right, here's band number 1 with these 4 people. Here's band number 2 with these 4 people. And yeah. All right, cool.
Anyway,
There should be a whole, yeah, exactly. All right, Randy. Yeah, that's what I thought too, but I thought Matt was
Yeah.
against it when I first proposed that, so I wasn't sure.
well, because he can't do a Matt pick. Anyway, let's try to get this. I was gonna be over before those emails threw me off. Anyway, thanks for joining us. If you want to become a patron, to go to jnjack.com. Become a patron. Do we have to do another commercial break?
No.
No, we're good.
Okay. But we want to thank all our patrons, but we're going to thank 4 patrons right now. They reach a certain level. Eckhart Rickner, Glaflor, Maggie the Magnificent, Joanne with Plan, and Ed, the creepy poopy letter carrier. Thanks for what you do, and we'll be back next Thursday night.
Sure.
With a new banana design. That's all we got. I'm out. Bye, everyone.
See ya.
See ya.